Hey guys, my name is Matthew, and today I wanted to share with you 5 steps for how to buy gear off Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist. And at the same time, I'll be traveling across the country, going to 5 different states, so that way you can see me in a few different environments. Hey guys, welcome to Kansas, the land where there's more corn than cell phone signal. In all fairness, this is a beautiful place. This is just a gorgeous, gorgeous place. I just don't feel like it gets enough credit. The land stretches forever and the sky is enormous. It's really, really cool. And I met my wife here, so Kansas has got it going on. For my very first recommendation for you when you're looking at Craigslist and looking at Facebook Marketplace is do your research. And I don't think this can be overstated. This is where people make some of their biggest mistakes when they're buying used stuff, is they don't actually understand what it is that they're buying. So whether this is a motorcycle, or it's a piece of camera equipment, or it's a snowboard, or whatever it is, you need to know a lot about that product, or at least enough to where you're not going to make a big mistake. And if I'm buying a vehicle, I'm gonna go look up what is the cost of this vehicle on NADA.com or Kelley Blue Book. I'm gonna find out generally what is the price of the vehicle for the area I'm looking at. That is not the end all be all though. You can also look for other types of products. You can look on Amazon or eBay and again get a general idea of what are people selling it for. Ultimately, in your area, the price is going to fluctuate, and getting a good deal really depends on understanding what is your market look like. In order to find out your market, you need to spend some time on Craigslist, on Facebook Marketplace, looking up the item that you're thinking about buying, and spending a lot of time researching what exactly is the price of the item in your area. So if you're looking for Ninja 250, that's a motorcycle you might buy if you're thinking about starting brand new, you've never bought a motorcycle before, you want to learn how to ride, that's a good one to start on. There's a lot of them, so normally they're pretty available, and you can look up what do people sell their Ninja 250s for from the age range of 2000, 2005. Go ahead and go look it up on Craigslist, look it up on Facebook Marketplace, start understanding what do those things go for. And then you'll start to understand what is a really good price for one of these, so you can have your eye out for that and be looking for it. The other thing is if I was looking for a new motorcycle, I would spend a lot of time looking on YouTube, looking at articles, finding out what goes wrong with the Ninja 250. Do you have to clean their carbs out? Hey, do I feel like I can buy one that might need to be fixed up, or do I need to buy one that is in pristine condition? Do I need to take it to a mechanic and make sure that it's perfect before I buy this thing? And for a lot of you, that might be the case. You may need to go look at a mechanic looking at whatever vehicle you're going to buy before you buy it. If it's something else, if it's camera equipment, what pieces tend to fall off of it? What tends to go wrong with the item you've got? You should be looking at tons of reviews and comparisons. Is this really the item that you should be buying right now? Or should you be looking at buying something else that's different but similar? A different motorcycle, a different snowboard, a different bike, a different whatever it is. I just think it's incredibly, incredibly important to make sure you do enough research about the product that you're thinking about buying before you even consider buying it. It's a place that people make some of their biggest mistakes. Hey guys, welcome to the beautiful, wide open Nebraska. This state feels to me like, at least driving through, it feels like Kansas, but a little further north, you know? It's just one of those. Feels like, you know, it's about the crops and the wide openness and the sky that doesn't end. It's actually beautiful. I'm sitting here kind of admiring the sky. I don't know if you guys can see it real well. And I'm here in the back of this here pickup truck, and it's gorgeous, you know. Good wind as well. It's great. I wanted to give you my second tip for buying things on Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace. Second tip I have for you is always set a goal for yourself before you move in. There's a goal and a commitment that you need to set for yourself. So I'll give you an example of a goal that I always set for myself. The goal I set for myself is I want to purchase something to where if I decide 6 months from now it's not the product I want anymore, or 2 months from now, or whatever it is, if I decide I don't want anymore, I need to liquidate the item to get some money, that I'm able to resell my item for 10% more than whatever I buy it for. So if I think I can easily sell the item for $1,000, for instance, then I might be willing to buy the item for $900. Another example of a goal that you might set is you may decide, here's an example, last year I went snowboarding for the very first time. I went out and I wanted to try it, so what I did was I set myself a different goal. I called the snowboarding place, and I'm gonna give you some fake numbers, but a rental for a day was $50. I figured, hey, if I can buy snowboarding gear for $100 or less, and I only snowboard twice in my entire life, then I've already made up that money because I was gonna spend $100 on rental gear anyway. So last year when I bought snowboarding gear from Craigslist, I set myself a goal of $100 or less. And this is a goal and also a commitment to yourself that you're not gonna allow yourself to spend more money than what your goal is. Because if you spend more money, that's where you get into some trouble. If I'd spent $200 on snowboarding gear, then suddenly I don't feel good about my purchase anymore. Suddenly I don't feel like I saved money, and I maybe thought I should have rented instead. And if I wasn't able to find it for less than $100, then I would have rented. Set yourself a goal, stick to your commitment, whatever your goal is. Your goal doesn't have to be one of those things, it can be whatever it is. Maybe you want to buy it for 50% less than what it is brand new. So that's tip number 2. Make sure you set yourself a goal and make sure that you stick to your commitment. Hey guys, I'm here in rainy Iowa. It is currently raining, so that's why I've got the old umbrella. I do want to share with you my third tip. I'm going to make this pretty quick. Third tip is all about making contact with your seller. So the very first message you send, whether it's a text message or a Facebook message, whatever it is, you need to make sure that you indicate that you are a serious buyer. What that looks like, this is the message that I send nearly all the time. It's, hello. Gotta do an introduction, right? Hello. I saw your item on Craigslist. Instead of item, you can say the name of the item, and instead of Craigslist, you could say Facebook Marketplace. I saw your item on Craigslist. I have cash in hand. This is really important, so that way your person, whoever your buyer, whoever your seller is, knows that you're serious and you have actual money. And then you want to give them an action step. Normally my action step is, what time would you like to meet? Or are you available to meet later today? Something like that. I've always put that in there so that way they know, hey, I'm really serious and I'm interested in buying this now, not sometime next week when I have a paycheck or whatever. If you ever try and sell something on Craigslist or Facebook, you'll know why this is so important, because a ton of people try to ask questions first. They're saying, hey, does this work in the weather? Does this work when I'm what are the specifications for this item? But you are a really serious buyer. You already have done all your research. You know everything about the item. You're just looking to go give your money to the person and buy the item. Step number 3 is make contact with your seller and indicate to them that you are a serious buyer with cash in hand. Give them a very specific action step, and that is step number 3. Hey guys, finally made it to Illinois, and I'm actually here over the Mississippi River. It's absolutely beautiful. Sun hasn't quite come up yet, and that's really relevant for my 4th tip. 4th tip is always meet in person during daylight hours and in a public place. That's for safety. It's really, really important. Obviously, you're meeting with people you don't know, and so because of that, it's important that you take some safety precautions. So always meet. One of my favorite places to meet is in Starbucks. I like to go there, I get a coffee, I show up early, just make sure I can kind of scout out the area and make sure I'm not going to be taken by surprise or whatever. I even talk to the barista or whoever, like, hey, just so you know, I'm meeting with someone who I don't know, I met on the internet, so if something goes down, like, just be ready for that or whatever. Let other people know where you're going. Make sure it's not a situation where you're going to be unsafe. So my 4th tip, again, always meet in a public place, in daylight hours, and definitely in person. Hey guys, welcome to Michigan. Got Lake Michigan behind me here. Beautiful lake, beautiful day, a little bit of rain here.
and want to tell you guys about my 5th step in buying something from Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace. Step number 5 is always be willing to negotiate and always be willing to walk away from a deal that doesn't make sense. So every single time I ever buy something from Craigslist, I always negotiate. I always offer less than what they're asking. So the worst they can say is no. And when they say no, you've got to make a choice as to whether or not that works for you still, or whether or not you're going to walk away. Always be willing to walk away from a deal that doesn't make sense. Most recently, I asked for something, asked them to negotiate, and they said no. Like, I understand the market value of what it is that I'm selling, and I'm not willing to do it for less than the price I've offered. And I said, okay, that's a really fair price. I still want the item, and I took it for them for the original price. But if you don't offer something lower, you may be leaving money on the table. A lot of times when I walk away from a deal, I say, would you be willing to take 500? They say, no, I can't take 500. I'll say, okay, in that case, sorry for wasting your time. I can't do it for any more than 500. And a lot of times, 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, I get a phone call, I get a text message, and they're saying, hey, actually, we changed our mind. We can take it for 500. We'd be willing to come back and do it for 500. And that actually reopens the negotiations again. You can then say, I am willing to, or I'm not willing to. And you can say, actually, I can only do it for 450 now, because it's been 10 minutes. I've already driven away. I've got to drive 10 minutes back, or whatever it is. But being willing to walk away will a lot of times give you a better deal, or it'll save you from buying an item you don't actually need, or you don't want to waste money on. So definitely recommend always be willing to negotiate and always be willing to walk away from a deal that doesn't make sense. Hey guys, if you got any value from those 5 tips, please let us know in the comments below. Give this video a like, and feel free to subscribe to our channel. We put out new content every single week, and so we'll just keep the adventures coming. See you guys next time.